By the time you're seeing this, I am 100% sure that the person in question will be trying to do anything he can to remove this video from the internet. And so I'm going to take a few precautions to try to stop that from happening. The first is that I'm not going to be showing any footage of our friendship together. If you need proof that we were friends or that we grew up together, I will link a video down below called 12 Years of Friendship. The second precaution is that I won't be using his name at all in the video except for in the title. So instead of using one of his names, I am going to just mash them together, and when I'm referring to this guy, I will just be calling him Poi. To understand what's going on with Poi in 2020, you first have to understand the way that our minds worked. Poi and I grew up homeschooled as brothers. We each have biological brothers also, but we would spend more time with each other than we did with really anyone. And since we didn't really have, since we literally didn't have any other friends, we became very similar in a lot of ways. As anyone that grows up with like one really, really close best friend knows, when you kind of grow up with just one person like that, you kind of grow up in the same way, at least at first. So these are the two important bits that you need to know. Number one, we completely both hated ourselves. I don't know why that was, but we kind of just grew up not liking ourselves at all. And number two, we believed that other people's opinions were directly correlated to who we were as people. Imagine that you're a stone that drops in a pool, and the ripples that emanate out from it are people's opinions of you. The ones that are closest are like your friends and family, and they probably have the best idea of who you are. And the farther out you get, like people you met, acquaintances, people that you've met on the internet, the farther you get out, the less likely it is that it's gonna correlate with who you actually are. Poi and I grew up believing that if we could change those outer ripples to like and respect us, that maybe we would be able to love and respect ourselves because we believed that they were correlated to the truth. To demonstrate how deeply that belief ran in our souls, I have to take you on some side tea real quick. I promise it's all relevant and you'll see why at the end. Pretty much right after we started our YouTube channel, my dumbass thought that I fell in love. And I began my first ever long distance relationship with a girl. For the first time in my life, I was actually texting someone more often than I was texting Poi. And as I learned the hard way, love can make you blind to certain things, and it can also make you overlook things that you probably shouldn't. So during this time, I had gotten a binge eater, and I was slowly, constantly starting to gain weight. So when this girl began to mock me for the weight that I was gaining with my eating, I didn't see it as malicious. Because of my belief that people's opinions were just representations of who I am, I didn't see it as mean or wrong or anything. I just assumed that I deserved this and that she was just telling the truth. It literally wasn't until I was in treatment for my BED and my counselor told me straight up that this girl probably didn't have my best interests in mind that I finally got a little bit of clarity, and I finally kind of saw that letting other people control your self-image is not only inaccurate and wrong, but it can be dangerous. But I was still an immature idiot because even after all that progress, after all those realizations and promising my counselor that I was going to cut this person out of my life, guess what I did the moment I got out of treatment? I called her. I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't a complete moron for the first 90% of my life. Literally the first thing she asked me was, "Hey, are you still fat, Danny?" And so I hung up and I blocked her. She then proceeded to message my followers one by one. I'm pretty sure she messaged like 300,000 people and just began letting everyone know what a horrible, horrible person I am. She then took these carefully selected screenshots from when we were together, conveniently leaving out all the times that she had asked me for like risque photos and kind of weird things. And of course, she used the most overweight, ugly picture that she could find of me. Thank you for getting through that with me. I promise it's still relevant to Poi, and now you'll see why. So keep in mind that Poi and I had this same mindset, this same belief that opinions kind of define who you are. And I can't blame anyone that believed that, because even though I made all this progress in treatment, even though I thought I was getting over that way of thinking, because we held other people's opinions in such high regard, even though I knew the truth, and even though I knew what actually happened, because in my core I got my self-image from the opinions of other people, I believed that I was this horrible person. And Poi has that same exact mindset, except even more so. For me, it wasn't until this year that I had the courage to finally stand up to myself and be like, you know what happened, and you're not gonna let yourself be controlled by malicious people's opinions or strangers' opinions anymore. And for the first time in my life, I finally don't care if you like me or not, especially if you've never even met me. So my point is this: it took a lot of life-changing, life-shifting events for that belief to finally erode and break down. And even then, it kept coming up and controlling me and controlling my life. So while my circumstances and situations have kind of forced me to move past this and adopt a new way of thinking and living, I believe that Poi's stunning amount of TikTok success, I believe that his TikTok success has rooted him deeper and deeper and deeper into this belief system and way of seeing the world. After spending the majority of our lives together, I can say almost positively that his thinking is like, if I can get these people to like Troy Bolton, then the bad things I did won't matter. Almost like they don't exist. He doesn't care about the people that he tricked or hurt, because as I learned towards the end of our friendship, for him, it's about him. When I gained a bunch of weight and was no longer useful to him, he dropped me. And when his name became tarnished and it was no longer useful to him, he dropped it and made a new one. Poi, if you're watching this, I know you're watching this. I just want to say one thing to you real quick. I know this might seem like an attack, but it's not. Sometimes we need bad situations to happen in order to grow up. Because I grew up with you, I know that deep down, under the surgery, under the fake name, I know there's just like a goofy, silly person down there. People can change for the better, and you don't have to spend the rest of your life tied to your past mistakes. But the answer isn't to change your name, Paul. You don't have to spend the rest of your life tied to your mistakes. But in order to move past them, you have to face them. You do that by being honest with yourself and with your fans about mistakes that you've made and things that you've done. I don't think you can ever have friends again in life like the ones that you grew up with. And so a little piece of me will always kind of be rooting for you in a weird way, even after all that you did to me. But you have to stop using everyone around you as a stepping stone to more fame and money. Especially people that care about you or cared about you, like your fans. And I did. I genuinely hope that you find your way soon, but we're not gonna take your shit anymore, bub. Peace. Thank you for watching. If you like this song that's been playing in the background, I haven't written it yet, so hopefully it's good, but it's a piano song that I wrote while thinking about my friendship. If you like that song, I will be uploading it on my channel here. This is a piano channel, so if you need help with meditation, sleeping, anxiety, studying, subscribe to this channel. Let's all just create beauty. Thank you for watching this.